I was still holding the diamond ring when she whispered, "I'm sorry, Layla. He needs me more." And in that instant, still kneeling on one knee, I realized the only person I'd ever loved was about to walk away, hand in hand with the man who once called me best friend. I met Quinn on a Wednesday that smelled of burnt coffee and printer ink. Corporate orientation day, 90 minutes of forced smiles, dead fluorescent light, and a self-esteem killing icebreaker called Two Truths and a Lie. I said I spoke 3 languages, collected vinyl, and ate fire once on a dare. She laughed, bright, reckless, and loud enough to turn heads. Nobody had ever laughed for me before, only at me. By lunch, we were sharing fries. By Friday, we were sharing playlists. By Monday, I was sharing secrets. Dark ones. Because she listened like secrets were sacred currency. 9 months later, we were officially a thing. Corporate gossip whispered office romance, but it never felt small. With Quinn, everything felt cinematic. Midnight grocery runs for mint chip ice cream, tattoos at 3 a.m., her grandmother's locket under my pillow for good dreams only. I thought destiny finally apologized for all its previous jokes at my expense. I kept waiting for the punchline. The fracture had a name: Victor. He entered the narrative like a glitch. Someone too charming, too polished, too everything. He led our project's finance team. Quinn and I handled creative. The rumors were immediate. Victor's a strategist. He reads people like spreadsheets. Victor always wins. Victor never loses. I believed none of it until I saw Quinn laugh at his jokes, the same laugh she once reserved for me. One Friday, team happy hour bled into a 2 a.m. karaoke bar. I watched them sing a brutally off-key duet to Wonderwall. I laughed too, pretending not to notice his hand on her waist when the chorus hit. She apologized the next morning, said it was nothing. I pretended to believe. I bought the ring in late April, 3 months' salary, vintage aquamarine center stone. She hated diamonds. I imagined proposing on the rooftop garden where she once said the sunset looked like a broken promise taped back together. She was a poet. I wanted to write her next stanza. But Victor stayed in every stanza. Lunch meetings Quinn forgot to mention. Inside jokes I couldn't translate. Late-night Slack messages with timestamps curiously close to midnight. Still, love is blind enough to ignore red flags when you're busy stitching them into wedding gowns. June 17th, company retreat. Fancy coastal resort. Victor organized a bonfire on the beach. Guitars, cheap rum, nerves disguised as laughter. Around 1 a.m., as waves erased footprints, Victor suggested a truth or dare spin the bottle for old-school fun. I don't know which level of hell Dante reserved for spin-the-bottle corporate retreats, but it's probably between fraud and treason. Bottle spun, neck landed on Quinn. Victor smug smiled. "Truth or dare?" "Truth," she said. He leaned in. "If you could change one thing about your life right now, what would it be?" She hesitated, looked at me, looked away, finally whispered, "I'd stop being afraid to choose what I really want." Everyone cheered. Heard bravery, I heard confession. Later, I found them sitting alone by the shoreline. Moonlight, white foam, silhouettes fused like conspiracy. I heard my name, muffled by wind, followed by Victor's voice. "She'll survive." I crept back to my room, ring box burning a hole in my pocket. The day after the retreat, I invited Quinn to our apartment terrace. Potted succulents, fairy lights, city skyline humming with golden hour. I planned to propose before sunset. Figured heartbreak couldn't live in that color palette. We sipped rosé. She fidgeted. I dropped to one knee, heart racing, ring glowing. She covered her mouth. Tears, yes, but wrong flavor. Not overwhelmed joy. Something closer to guilt. Then the sentence, Layla, I'm sorry. He needs me more. Time stuttered. My ears rang, city blurred. I was still kneeling when she turned and walked away, toward the elevator, toward a future that erased mine. I whispered after her, but you were my reason to live. She didn't turn around. Doors closed. I moved out, boxed memories by month. August. Her laugh on voicemail. September. Concert tickets we never used. October. The locket that no longer kept demons out. I stopped listening to music. Stopped eating mint chip. Stopped sleeping without wine. Instagram showed me algorithmic torture. Selfies of Quinn and Victor, hiking, sipping, kissing, shining. Caption on one photo. Sometimes the heart knows what the mind denied. I blocked her, but digital ghosts bleed through walls. Mom showed up unannounced, armed with homemade stew and an envelope. Inside, a letter Quinn wrote 8 months earlier, given to my mother for safekeeping, in case Layla ever needs to know. I almost shredded it unread. Instead, I unfolded trembling paper. Layla saved me from myself, but I can't save her back. I'm terrified of how much she loves me, and maybe that's why I keep sabotaging us. If you're reading this, I'm already gone. Please tell her she was never the problem. My fear was. I reread those words until tears blurred ink into Rorschach maps of what-ifs. I entered therapy. Week by week, I stitched vocabulary to feelings: abandonment, codependency, fear of lovability. I began jogging at sunrise, adopted a senior cat nobody else wanted. Slowly, songs returned to my playlists. One rainy afternoon, exactly a year after the proposal that wasn't, Quinn knocked on my door. Same laugh, dimmer eyes. She apologized, voice cracking. I left because I felt broken, she said. But I broke you to escape me. I listened. I didn't hug her. Instead, I handed her back the locket. It never stopped nightmares, I said. Only delayed them. She cried. I cried. But closure isn't a kiss. It's a quiet goodbye where anger ends and understanding begins. She left. This time, I didn't chase. Today, 2 years later, I still keep the ring. Pawn shops won't take aquamarine. But I slipped it onto a silver chain. I wear it close to my heart as a reminder. Love shouldn't be the reason you live. You should be. I finally proposed. To myself. Said yes on a Tuesday morning with unwashed hair and overdue bills. The vow. I will love myself enough to forgive my past. I will be my own reason. I will never kneel for someone who's walking away. And that, finally, felt cinematic.